All right, it's time for some virtual co-working. Today I'm working on my Groundhog Day Resolutions. This is the fifth review for the year, 7/7. The next one will be August 8. After that will be September 9. So my Groundhog Day Resolutions are essentially like New Year's resolutions, except I do them on Groundhog Day, February 2nd, because on January 1st I'm in no shape to make any kind of promises about the year. So February 2nd seems like a good day, and so does the following up on March 3rd and April 4th and so on. It's easy to remember. And I'm actually going to try something about different today for this review. In the meantime, I am also preparing this packet of hot chicken flavored ramen. And my sister and her friend Sarah have been like trying these things out. And they have challenged me to go along and do this with them. So I have water boiling over there, so we'll check that out a little bit later. Adjust this. So ordinarily when I'm doing these Groundhog Day resolutions, I go to my blog and read what I wrote last month. So let me just check this out really quickly. That's my blog, which I've decided to reboot. So last month, let's see, I've been doing these very short too. I used to make these really, really long and in depth, but it seems that this year mostly I'm just keeping in, how would I say it? I've been doing basically the same thing for 7 or 8 years now. And I've been trying to shake up the process because it seems like I'm not, even though I'm making process, it's not quite, it doesn't feel like I'm making enough progress. And this may be a false feeling, but let me just look and see what I have here. Let's see. My current GHDR goals are the search for mind-blowing productive synergy. What that is being able to find people to work with, and then we get together and we do amazing stuff. That's kind of that's what I'm looking for in a nutshell. For that to happen, though, you need community, and you need to be doing mind-blowing stuff, and you need to be in contact with people, blah blah. The second goal was to run a neat side business. That neat side business has been my stationery stuff. You know, in my mind's eye, what the neat side business looks like is Ollivander's wand shop in Harry Potter, or something like that, like a magical store where magical products can be bought. So I have a few of those. You know, I mean, like the basis of what I'm selling is my design tools, which I have here. Most prominently, the Emergent Task Planner. But there's some things that just look cool. So I have what is basically a suite of things I could be turning into more polished products. Now, I've got stuff on Amazon. You know, so like Amazon, Emergent, Task Planner. You know, so the ratings have been slowly dropping, unfortunately. Oh, this is for the notebook. People complain it's too small, but generally it's generally positive. That's a good thing. Yep, the water should be boiling now. Anyway, what was I? Developing the creative interdependence. This is a variation of my creative independence plan. Creative independence is being able to do what you want, get paid for it, not have anyone tell you what to do. Creative interdependence is a variation of creative independence in that what you want to do is become part of a ecosystem of creators, not just you independently making money, but you all making money together. I think that's important. And the fourth one was pushing on the 10-year goals for 2024, which are these things, I believe. The goals for 2024. Oops, I forgot to check if the live stream is working. I might have to start this all again if this is broken. Oh, we do have audio, good. I gotta make doing. So, what was I? These goals were making a game. Let me go back to this original. illustration, creative independence, which I just talked about, music composition, making thinking tools, fabricating things, and cooking, which was a bonus goal. But anyway, I thought that pursuing all these things would lead me to a place where I was happy and financially secure. However, I guess I'm revisiting this. I'm revisiting the way I'm approaching them, and I'm revisiting what those elements of that lead up to this are. I've written about each of these things in quite a bit of detail in the past. So let me continue reading and see. I'm really not sure how I'm going to approach today's Groundhog Day Resolution review, but let me go put these in the oven. I don't think I can bring this camera with me. That might work. Let me get this into place. The cat is over here. Alright. I should be able to just carry this thing over. Assuming that doesn't unplug itself. It's all tangled already. Damn it. Alright. Kitty, we're going on the move. Alright, so I got water boiling here. Hopefully this hasn't evaporated too much. Camera mount is failing me. Can't really see what this is looking like, but there's the water that's boiling. I think that's aimed right. So apparently, put these noodles in there for a few minutes. 5 minutes. Okay, that sounds good. And there's a couple of other packs of stuff in here. This is the... I don't know what this is. This is a cheese pack? Is it? This is a cheese powder. And this is the spicy noodle powder. So allegedly, what I'm supposed to do here is... I'm just getting a bowl. After that boils for 5 minutes, take everything out except for 8 spoons of water, and put liquid soup into noodles, stir fry for 30 seconds. Alright, so we're moving most except for some water, I guess, and keeping it on the heat. These are supposed to be like really hot, spicy. This brand of Korean noodles, Samyang. If you look up Samyang spicy noodles on YouTube, you'll see a whole bunch of people like eating these noodles and loving and hating it at the same time because these are super hot. Apparently, this is only the 3rd hottest noodle though you can get, according to some noodle review I was reading. Turn off this fan. That's 3 minutes. And what's going on there? Let me go back to the other site. Why is this stuck? I'm heading back to the desk over here. Alright. So I can kind of see what's going. I can watch the noodles from here. This is great. So, alright. Going on... Last month I tried using these things called objective and key results. I stopped doing those because they weren't really working for me. And the categories here were roughly in line with the GHDR goals. with some additional caveats, or additional principles to follow, which was one was gaining mastery through work, reduce frustrations, increase my sense of well-being, not be bored or isolated. So these are I think these are recognitions of things that are important to me, or tendencies. Like I tend to get frustrated with lack of progress. I tend not to take as good care of myself as I should. I'm easily bored, and I tend to isolate myself, and these are all good things, especially if you want to develop mind-blowing productive synergy and creative interdependence. And the highlights last month were virtual co-working chat room continues to be going on, and it's going on right now. It's even. I see people in there. We have a small community of people who are of all over the world. Maybe not many. Maybe I would say 10 regulars at this point. But we check in regularly, and it's enough of a shared sense of work that it provides a basis for something, a sense of connection. Also, it's warmer. It's nice. All right. So, while I'm waiting for that to finish, the approach I'm thinking of doing today, instead of like copying this, which I did for last time, oops. I was thinking about doing a map, and this is because someone had happened to mention an old, well, reminded me of an old document that I had made in 2009, which was my, how come this isn't working? What I'm trying to do here is like, how come, is this really my stream? This is everyone else's stream. Where's my stuff? Oh. I guess I had to click that. This blog post. My world domination master vantage point. I had drawn this map of where I was. There's me. Nope, the noodles are ready. Let's go to Super Noodle View, which would be this. Alright, drop this down a little bit. So we got this boiled. We gotta take out all the water except for about 8 teaspoons. I have no idea what that's gonna be. And just remove the water. 8 spoonfuls. Does that look like 8 spoonfuls to you? Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's about 8, I think. Just put all the sauce back. And now we have put this on again, and then we add this super spicy sauce up, which I spilled all over the place. Damn it. Yeah, that sucks. This is going to be less spicy now. So mix that in. It says... That is unfortunate. How long do I do this? 30 seconds, 1,002, it's been about 15 seconds now. Let's get some of the moisture out. Is it in 30 seconds? I think it looks quite dry in the picture in the front. I don't think that's good enough. Then add this cheese powder. It's supposed to thicken up then. Stir well and serve. I don't see anything happening. I think I already screwed this up. I think I need to turn this on again. It looks nothing like the picture. I guess that's to be expected. Just try to get moisture out of there as much as possible. I think that's going to be as done as it's going to get. Alright. Here we go. The whole thing of Samyang spicy noodles. Let's move this over where I can eat it. Look at. All right. It's having trouble with the gain control. All right. Doesn't look very appetizing in this picture. Probably not enough light on it. I wonder if this will work. I have this broken like halogen lamp. It keeps flickering. Yep, it's gonna flicker like that. I think it's just broken. It's no good. Just need to throw this thing out. So we got noodles. Now we're gonna try them. Again, these are the Samyang cheese flavored hot flavored chicken ramen. $1.89 from my local Asian market. Hey Joy. So we'll eat these and then get back on with the actual work. All right. These look real. Oops. I just steamed up the camera window. Let's cool these things down a bit. These are not as hot as the other noodles, the 2X hots or the 1X hots. These are supposed to be quite flavorful. We'll just make a note in here in the chat room. Trying out these cheese flavored Samyang chicken ramen noodles. They're supposed to be hot. And back to Groundhog Day Resolutions. All right. Let's get some action shots. All right. This camera's like in the way. You see everything? That's what it looks like. The other camera view. Yeah, overcooked the noodles. These are pretty spicy. Noodles definitely overcooked. These are really good noodles though. There's a stew version of this that I'm told like you should try out because it's not spicy, but you just get the excellent noodles. So far it's not really hurting too bad. I did spill most of this, a good chunk of the sauce though, out outside the pot. Not really getting a lot of cheesiness though. I guess I can kind of taste the cheese flavor. Yeah, I can kind of smell it. The salty flavor is very intense. It's not pure salt, there's something else in it too. No, it's Korean, so it's going to be like this, I guess. Yeah, these are great Korean noodles. I kind of want to put them in a sandwich and see what they taste like. Anyway, apparently these aren't going to kill me. Maybe the next ones I'll try will. Wait on. All right, I'm changing my mind. These aren't terribly spicy, but they're spicy enough that I'm actually going to have a glass of milk. I'm getting a glass of milk. I just happen to have milk, which is kind of rare for me. There was like I was at a farm stand and they had some local milk there, so I wanted to get it. That's good stuff. Okay. That was a nice lunch break. Oh, it burns. It crawls up on you. Ugh. That's right. The last time I had the super spicy version of these, I have to allocate 10 minutes of pain. And the important part about that is it passes after 10 minutes. If you can survive the 10 minutes, everything will be fine. This is minute 3. Alright, maybe if we do some work I can get my mind over it. Anyway, this is the diagram I made in 2009. And it shows me, oops, let me set this up again. The accessibility is messed up. I need to, how come I can't see this? Zoom in, options, adjust size and position. Okay. So now I can zoom on this map. So here, right here in the center, this is me in 2009. I am facing the cliff of opportunity. And I couldn't read this. Thinking riches, but needing, I can't read what that is. Or so I have peers and my crew, and I had a small pile of money. These boxes here were things, these were my resources I could bring with me. A pile of miscellaneous skills to trade for food along the way. Programming, interactive, web design, games. The interest and urge to understand and reconstruct things is very easy for me to do. It produces writing, plans, these are the tangibles. Writing, plans, principles, ideas, clarity. The value that people get is people can see for themselves what they need to do or how they can relate. This is what I can provide. And in return, people will get the sense of who I am, which to me was important. Another resource I had was endless writing and blogging. Back then I was writing prolifically. And this produced a lot of SEO juice, like it was search engine optimized long-form content writing. You call it content marketing now. Oh, hey, Dom. Yeah, you want ramen. You need to get this Korean stuff, Dom. Like this. Get this stuff. This is for, get the red one, though. The red one's even worse. I challenge you! Anyway, so the ability to write was really good just in promoting my ideas and getting them into search engine land. Because my blog was, had lots of words on it, was pretty well indexed by Google. This was before that people really started gaming it. Oh, I did never notice this back to wage slavery line. It was easy for me to write as well. And then the last resource I had in 2009 was the ability to use graphics tools to produce stuff. things you could look at, like forums, you know, like these things. Put ideas into a more palatable, more interesting way of absorbing them. So I had these things, and then this cliff of opportunity, this is what the landscape I thought looked like. You know, there was two systems basically. There was the system of paid access and academic achievement. You know, basically it was a toll road. So this is like the career path. This is where things were defined for you. It looks like there's a honeypot here. A honeypot, these are like, you know, pedestals of achievement that you could reach for. Back doors if you knew someone on the inside. There was a giant hole of all knowledge. That was a big distraction. And then the middlemen, who stood between you and the knowledge. And one honest person I put in there. Oh, I forgot these middlemen are here too. I need to add that back in. Then, you know, this is like just kind of a dead end kind of thing. The other opportunity was on the labyrinth of uncertain benefit and methodology, which is where I was going. You know, how do you get in there? How do you get through a rat hole of opportunity? Which would be something like someone offers you a job to do something for them. They see that they like working with you and they start working more. You happen to meet somebody that is doing something that is that's the term, complementary to what you're doing, and together you create like something better. You fall in with a small shop of people who are doing things. You know, the danger of this is like you might fall into that false job trap. You know, job where you are, your value to them exceeds their value to you, but you have no way out. And then here on the horizon, these were things where I thought I was going. Community arts and guilds, local crafts and blogging. That was one. Here's distant mysteries. Electronic media tools, software, and online tools. That was another possibility. Physical goods, books, and published works. That was another opportunity I could see. Then there was a rocket ship to the moon, the niche design business, and consulting, review / coaching. And I tried all of these things over the past, whatever. If this was 2009, this is the past 8 years or so. So the reason why I'm looking at this is because I'm in reviewing my Groundhog Day resolution goals for this month. I want to really try to redirect things. So one thing I started doing is last night I started redrawing the map. Actually, let me go get the original map. I'll put this down here so you can study it while I'm downstairs. Let's see. Where's the aux cam split? 1, 2. All right. Don't know how clear that is. I'll be right back. I think I know where the original map is. So I'm going to the basement. I think I have it on the wall. Oh, and here it is. Along with other artifacts from that era. I should take some of these up with me. Yeah, that's boring. Maybe I can actually read that thing. So here's the original map. Ugh, sticking to everything. All right. Can I see what that says? Needing... What is that? Factories? Factories. Needing... You can offer to let me read that. Maybe if I zoom it in really close. I can't read what that says. But needing... F-A-C-T-O... It might say factories. Or... Everything is blurred together. I was using a big fat pen and this paper is bleeding a lot, so I can't really see it. Anyway, in the updated version, which I use a different pen, which ended up not being very good. Essentially, on this part over here, I redrew all this stuff that was on the top here. So all these things, I basically recopied it here. I originally wasn't planning on redrawing the whole map, but that's what happened. So, and then I also noted which things had stayed. This stuff still works. I put that in the red pen. And then this stuff here, this has changed. This is still good. People getting to know me, maybe not as important as I thought. The endless writing and blogging, not so fresh anymore. There's a couple new reserves of money. I have a small reserve now, and I have recurring revenue on Amazon through the sales of the products. And then I redrew this whole top section, this part here. So this thing and this thing I combined into one. And all of these things I also put off on the horizon. So here, there's a few things that are different. So this is the system of paid access, blah, labyrinth on clear benefit. I made it all one thing. This is like a city in here. And I put a lot more of these rabbit holes of distractions. I see most people now moving toward this, and this is always the way it's been. There are some outposts, like there's this holdouts thing over here. There's an alternative way of doing things. There's a distracting fervor thing. So this essentially is like what I'm thinking of as the real world. Here on the distance horizon, here's the burning trash fire that is my blog, which I haven't done anything for. The local guilds, local crafts thing, that didn't work out at all. I did make some friends, but it didn't become a sustaining thing. So over here there's a bridge that says this is money, this is sex, this is social media, Facebook. So this is the world as I see it, and then over here there's a trade border between me and Dave Land. You can see up here I've labeled it Muggle World Markets, and then Dave Land is here. The two things that worked, niche design, business and development, physical goods and products. The consulting and coaching stuff, that didn't really work out. It's just not me. And then this is about as far as I got. So 2024 goals, these are failed initiatives. I'm not sure what I'm doing. These might still be buildable, but who knows. So that's where I am right now. These are the legacy resources, this is the world, and this part is what I'm going to be filling out later. And I might actually scan it into Photoshop and then touch it up so it looks a little bit better. Or I might redraw the whole thing entirely. I'm thinking about using pencil and then actually trying to make a nice diagram out of it instead of like this kind of hacky thing. So since I've been working on this, I'm thinking maybe of trying this with the Groundhog Day Resolutions, just drawing on it instead of writing. Typing is how I usually do things, and it usually works pretty well. It's one of my superpowers to be able to write and think at the same speed and time. Let me take a bite of this. So what if I were to redraw my Groundhog Day Resolutions as pictures? How would that change everything? It's a different way of thinking. I'll make some space here. So, and I also don't want to use this pen because this is a Jetstream Uniball. These are great pens for just general writing. However, they take a little bit of time to actually start leaving ink. So you can't really dot with these, and I find them a little bit imprecise. So, for fun, I'm going to try using this. This is new for me. This is a Muji aluminum fountain pen. Let's see how this thing draws or works. Muji is a Japanese brand that's known for its very minimal product design. I think it's one of the original no-brand brands. So their stuff isn't highly stylized, but it's functional. You know, so it's a pen. Is there refills with this? I don't see them. Maybe they're inside. Might as well see how this thing actually works. If it comes out. Come out. It's not coming out. I don't see the refills. Where are the refills? Oh, they're there. Alright. Okay, so there's the pen. Here are the instructions. Unscrew the end and stick the refill in. What? Muji's opening its own hotel? Nice. Where's it gonna be? Switch over to cat view. I'll go to Oxcam view. So Uff is saying in the chat room that Muji is opening its own hotel, which is amazing. I wonder what it's gonna be like. To just be. I've been to the Muji stores, and those are fun in themselves, but it would be like kind of. I mean, look how short this is. That's tiny. That's a nice piece of aluminum. Oh, there's 3. Alright, so I already have a refill here, so I have 2 extra ones. I need to put this somewhere I'm not going to lose them. Here is my miscellaneous jar of things that I don't want to lose. Right now it contains 2 little pieces from my Tachikoma, and this this is a 9mm magazine follower that sprang out of it while I was cleaning. I'll put these in here. All right, so it says what? I had to push it in. I guess that makes sense. I had to push this into it to break the. Or maybe I just put it in there and screw it tightly. It should just press. This will be like the way the Lamy ones work. Nope, that's not. I think I gotta push it in. Or is it backwards? Okay, I pushed it. Here it go pop. And then what's gonna hold it in? I guess this gets long by doing this. Oh, that's interesting. There's a little O-ring here to keep it from, to make this action nice and smooth. This doesn't feel like the greatest pen though, I have to say. Feels a little light. It's probably gonna take a while for it to, yeah, I don't like the way this feels at all. This is a good compact pen maybe for carrying around because it just gets so small. I don't like the way it feels though. Fortunately, I got another pen to try out, which is, this is a Auto Tash Blue fountain pen. I think someone in the chat room actually mentioned this. And so, was it Don? He had suggested trying this pen out. And I think I also have refills for this. But maybe I'll do that later. And there are plenty of other pens I could be using. Like this one. Let's try this one. Or this one. Did I load this one already? I don't even remember this one. Oh, this is the cheap Chinese one. Actually, this seems kind of nice. There's no ink in it. This is a actually, look, this is the $5 one. This one feels great. It's like thick. It's screwed shut. Alright, so this one is loaded. The cartridge. We'll give all these things a try. Alright. So let's try the emoji one if it. Okay, the emoji one's loaded. So I don't like the way this cap feels. It's all real rattly feeling. Maybe I just use it without it. So it's nice and tiny. I just dropped it. This maybe not the greatest. Let's get this in place. You can see what I'm drawing. And it's already makes spotted splotches everywhere. So, Groundhog Day Resolutions. Let me look over here on my screen again. So, there was a search for mind-blowing productive synergy. Let me just sort of remember the same thing. I'll just start drawing anywhere. So, search is showing. This is I'm angled. Let me just write this in. Search. I don't like the way this feels at all. For mind-blowing productive synergy. This is one of my main goals. So it's a search for mind-blowing productive synergy. And how am I going to represent this physically? Let's just make it a block, because I didn't think that far enough ahead. This is a tenet, let's say. And so, let's search for mind-blowing productive synergy. What are some things we can say about this? Well, let me just find synergy is, I'll use a different pen for that. Synergy is people working together, creating more energy than you brought into it. Productive is you're doing stuff that's cool. That kind of goes along with mind-blowing. I mean, you don't want to just make anything. Like any bunch of schlebs can get together and just make something together. But you want to make something that's like super awesome and super cool. Mind-blowing! With excellence and all that stuff. Stuff that people haven't seen before. That's what we're going for. That's what that's about. That, I think, will make me feel good. Then there's running the neat side business. And I'm tempted to try and make these all straight, but I am deliberately going to make it different looking. What's a neat side business look like? I'm thinking it's like a rock or something like that. Or like a hobbit hole. Let me just write neat side business first. Neat side business. No, I screwed this up already. Oops. Damn it. That was supposed to be a cool looking sign, but I screwed it up. Well, maybe I can salvage it. It's kind of neat. Let's do some arbitrary shading here. I'm going to blow through this whole cartridge, I think. I mean, I like the way this pen is kind of writing on this bad paper. This is like some cheap 11 by 17 paper that I got probably 15 years ago. This is Tenet 2. T-E-N-E-T. If I didn't space that right. Shade. So as I'm doing this shading stuff, I'm just kind of thinking at the same time. There's something kind of relaxing about it. I should really do this more often. I don't think of myself as being good at drawing, but drawing to just get ideas out is it's a good way of just changing the way of your thinking if you're not used to doing it this. So writing, drawing, you know, maybe playing with blocks, those are some things you can do. So what's the third tenet? Develop creative interdependence. Let's put that over here. Creative interdependence. I'm going to try doing this as two things. Creative. Am I still drawing on this? Creative. I have an idea that I can do something that's like I can screw this up. This is where I should have done in pencil. Interdependence. How is this gonna work? I kind of want to make this crossover shape, but I don't think I'm smart enough to do it. Ugh, I screwed it up. Yes, I should come in from the bottom as well. Oh well. Let's try to save it. We can imply that there's some kind of... No, this looks terrible. But if I redraw this, then I'll know what I tried to do. So creative interdependence. Develop. These little dots here just to, imply that they're made out of some kind of rock or something. And also it's just fun to do. Yeah, yuck. This really is too small to do anything with. Nice idea. We're moving on. This is the Faber-Castell, I think. So this is the pilot. All right. That already feels much more substantial. This is 10 at 3 though. T-E-N has a very sharp point compared to the other ones. Also, the ink is bleeding more. There's 10 at 3. What's 10 at 4? Push on the 10-year goals. Let's see, the first thing that comes to mind is this making a 1. And if I don't screw this O up. I screwed it up. Damn it. So in our 10-year goals, this keyboard's in the way. Everything's in the way. My hand control is really poor. I think this is 6 practice, but I never had the patience to do this. This is why I use digital tools. 10. Because 10 year screw that up. I didn't think about spacing this properly either. 10-year. Oops, that's not a G. Let's pretend it is. Here's our 10-year goals. This is Tenet 4. T-E-N-E-T. Alright. So here are my existing Groundhog Day resolutions. I'm wishing I had a nice fat rollerball right now. And these pens are okay, but I want the fat rollerball. Maybe I'll use... This is a broad tip Lamy. I think it's blue though. Is it blue? Maybe blue will be fine for outlining things. This does write butterily smooth though, because it is so broad. It's actually quite pleasurable to work with. Maybe drawing blue lines or black lines is not such a bad idea. Maybe I'm inventing a new technique for my stuff. Oh, this thing feels great. Just so smooth because it's so broad. Just loop all over myself. Say what you want about broad nibs. They feel great for this kind of stuff. Alright, so we have our tenets for Groundhog Day resolutions. How many of these do I still want? Where am I in relation to them? Are these goals? Or are these desires? These noodles are really good. Let's start augmenting these a bit. Creative interdependence. Let me use the red pen for this. What is this pen? Oh, I forgot I had this. I don't even remember where I got this from. This looks like another Muji pen. This has a 0.5 lead in it too. Let's use that. Creative, what is interdependence? This is out of lead. It is. Oh, well, it's shattered. Okay, there we go. This is people working together as independent artists. Creative is people doing what they want. No, this is people making things that didn't exist before. And then there's also an economic aspect to it. Well, I guess I would draw it like this. Economic sustaining interaction. So I would say that's what I mean by this. This is closely related to the search for mind-blowing productive synergy. I'm going to even connect this somehow to that. Let's use this. 10.1 and 10.3 are closely interrelated. Well, let's define it first. Mind-blowing. Inspiring. Original. Productive. Tangible. Shareable. Synergy. That's actually what all this stuff is. And all this feeds into me. Let's put myself on the map here. So this is one system. The neat side business is also inspired by this stuff. This all ties in with that. But what is the neat side businesses? What makes something neat? Oh, it also implies something that's I didn't actually write down. Alright, what is the neat side business? It is producing original work that is unique, delightful, joy-bringing, and useful. This stuff connects with someone deeply. An example would be Ollivander's Wand Shop. hand's starting to cramp up. I'm not used to writing. And so this ties in with that. So it also, excuse me, makes money. To fund my main pursuits. That's what I didn't put on here. What are my main pursuits? It's not these. This really is stuff I used to think would make me happy, but needs connection to be activated. So this kind of stuff is kind of dead now. So here I'm saying there's this neat side business, but what's the main business then? I haven't put that down in any place. What is my main business? Let me write that over here. What is main? That is the question. I don't know the answer to that. Now let me write, there's a few other things I should write down that's in this screenshot. Let me go look at this again. So, this gain mastery through work thing. Not be bored. These are all personal desires. This is related, the 10-year goals are related to the mastery through work. Sort of. But not really. I don't know what I mean by that. Let us... That's strange. This is a pen. That's not what I wanted. What did I do with that other pen? Here. This is the pilot again. Oh, there's ink all over the place. Let me write this down. So the gaining mastery through work. I'm not sure where that goes. I'll just put a little pile over here. You know, it actually might be here. I'm gonna call this like a corollary. Let me just write it before I figure out what the symbol is. Gaining mastery through work. Gaining. What I mean by that. Is what the kind of knowledge I regard as useful is ones that you've tested through implementation. It's not enough just to have knowledge and not to be able to apply it. This is where I tend to be really hard on teacher types who can tell you something but they've never actually done it. So let me add this. That's doing work, failing, refining, succeeding, duplicating. users. This is important. This is kind of where all this stuff is. This is about the learning process. Learning process. Methodology. Killing dogma. That's important to me. Let's call that real learning process. The 10-year goals are kind of this is really a lab, I think. This is a laboratory. Laboratory. Maybe it's a laboratory for learning. You know, it's my learning science laboratory, now that I think about it. The reason why I'm interested in these things is I'm wondering if I can learn them. And because I'm not familiar with these things, like music composition, I can't play an instrument. I'm wondering how I can learn that stuff, and if I can gain mastery through this. So this maybe is an actual thing that's important to me, but in the way I hadn't thought about before. So another thing is reducing frustration and increasing well-being. Let me just put that here. Reduce frustration. Reducing. Am I still on the screen? Yep. Reducing frustration. Increasing well-being. Is there still audio? I was worried the audio's going to crap out on me. And it seems to be there. I'll just leave that on so I can see. Well-being is it well-being hyphenated? Why did I hyphenate? I keep putting hyphens and everything. Okay, so these are important mental health things. Not being bored. I'll put that up here. Not being bored might be a main activity. I hate being bored. Not being isolated. So these are this is about mental balance. That's what these things are about. So how do I represent that? We could make them a bunch of rocks. I'm going to screw that rock up. These are a bunch of rocks. Much easier to stipple with this pen than the ballpoint pen. Yeah, we'll stipple this completely later. Yeah, the top one's awful. Slow it down. I just need more density. That's what I needed. Why do people do this? I go insane. I guess there's a certain... I'm always concerned about how fast I can do something, which makes me unsuitable for this type of work. Unless I can learn how to do that. You can kind of see how it's already coming, kind of working. So these are my balancing rocks. Balance. So, what does this leave me? Do I actually have any goals in here at all? It doesn't really look like it. Well, let me just, as I'm kind of reinforcing these lines, let me try to slow this down and not feel like I'm in a hurry. Take a deep breath. You can see I'm in a hurry when I do the transitions and lift pen lifts. Yeah, let's focus there as I was going around. Yeah, I could really... Drawing as a form of meditation might be something that I could look into. Because you had to really be focused on the point and the movement of it. I'm not so good at it. Anyway. So what do I have? I have... These things are important for my balance. I'm easily bored. I can't be isolated. I had to reduce frustration. And I know quite a bit about what contributes to these senses of well-being, frustration, etc. I have this pretty well modeled for myself. These things along the bottom, I would say this is the, make a separation of it. Tenet 2, Tenet 1, and Tenet 3. These are really the same continuum. People producing good stuff, being able to make a living. So I'm going to just kind of draw dividing line. Between that and the other one. So that's as one continuum of things. This is more of a lab thing. What do I call this? Maybe I can think of these as being layers. Layers to me. Kind of interesting idea. This is kind of a fundamental thing in a way. These goals really aren't goals in themselves. I want to do them. They're really about the learning stuff. I would say this is maybe the learning and sharing. Which calls to mind some of my other tenets. So it's the create, learn, build, share thing. I should put that down here. what was it? That wasn't what it was called. It was, what was it called? Learn, share, do. No, other people have, like, you know, borrowed this. When did I even write that? It was in, what did I call it again? Create. I have a graphic for it someplace. Personal. I think it's under Patreon Awards, Mega Pack Design, maybe? Taco Guide. Life balance, note taking. It's on one of my business cards. Which would be which one was it? No, it was this one probably. For a while, these were my tenets. Explore, learn, build, share. It still is important. That's the, I should write this whole thing down. I wonder if that URL is still active. davidsay.com work. I'm not linking it to it. Nope, I'm not taking any work right now. So, explore, learn, build, share. Let's write that down on this document. So what I'm trying to do is just kind of build up some I'm looking for patterns, basically. You're going to put share by itself because I think this is actually one of the things that drives me. Sharing. That's a central tenet, along with the gaining mastery. So I have things to explore, learn, and build, share. That goes into quality. Quality is its own thing, maybe. Here, you're not worried about quality. Ultimately, though, there's the idea of treasure. Quality. Treasure. This has always been important to me, but I've never figured out exactly how to express it as a goal. I mean, I guess it's implicit. This is the desire not to be bored. What's not boring is this stuff. And it's worth sharing. So, What's worth sharing? Process. This is like real process. And on this side is like real excellence or real quality. So maybe I've inadvertently come across a way of defining what my main line of business. This is maybe the fundamental stuff. How am I going to express this? I wish I could draw a sphinx. Let me just make a lump. Oh, I screwed it up. It looks terrible. I'm not sure what I was trying to do with this. Some kind of rock thing. Well, instead of regarding this as a drawing failure, we'll regard it as an opportunity to play with dots and lines and see what works, which is how this all happens, right? This kind of looks sort of like a mysterious sculpture thing. This stuff is not boring. With this layer, there's also like a sort of immediacy. These are kind of abstract things. This is about being in the moment. So let's make another bubble here. I'm going to call it, I'll start labeling these things. This one we'll call this layer this is kind of the operations layer. This is like the deep motivation layer. This layer here is the in the moment. Right. So it's interesting as I draw this thing out. What's becoming apparent to me is there's actually no goals in here. I mean, these goals really weren't goals. These are things I chose to do because I'm interested in this stuff. But when it comes down to picking what it is to do, let's make something here. And this is the immediate focus. focus. This is what I should be doing. Next to that is memory. Memory limit, actually. So I'm leaving this big space over here for I can hold maybe one main thing. And then one auxiliary one. Although I want to get away from this task model and go to the fruit orchard model. So I guess there's two ways I can do that. Let's fill this in here. This is one system unit. Okay. So this is like my executive function. These things are probably, I guess, these are distractions. And the idea is to minimize these as much as possible. Or any so here's my executive function. This is my foundation. This division here is kind of a real world thing too. Let's call it that. This is the inside, outside. Inner world, protective boundary layer. I do like the way this pen feels. Nice, big, goopy, broad lines. So here's the protective boundary. This is facing into the real world. And the real world is where the goals have to exist. I guess it does drill down and feed into this, but what are the goals? Alright, maybe I'm done with this for now. But let me think about, in the context of me writing about my Groundhog Day resolutions, I still haven't gotten any place. So with this diagram, what do I really have? Looking at this thing, I have another model of myself and how all these things that I wrote about in the Groundhog Day resolutions, how they've come to, how they relate to me. Where I'm still having problems, though, are picking specific things to do. And I think that's really the issue. Let me make a note here. And I'll put it on this side in the notes area. Notes. Note that actual goals of a tangible nature are absent. And I think what it comes down to is I don't want to pick them. I could say the goals in each side bits and come up with metrics of these. But there's a lack of immediacy for these. It doesn't fit in with not being bored. I'm easily bored by those kind of tasks because they miss some essential things, like a really, really good goal. The ideal goal. I'll commit this to pen. The ideal goal has immediacy, personal face-to-face connection, delivers results and data quickly, produces a real, not a real, it produces a tangible, to produce a result you can feel. Like I would say, like personal feedback within minutes. These, these are the non-boring ones. Concrete and shareable. Alright, so I wrote here, it's immediate, it's real time, it has a personal face-to-face connection, delivers results and data quickly, produces a result you can feel, personal feedback is in minutes, and it's concrete and shareable. If the goal I have for myself has none, doesn't have all of these things, it's boring or stupid. Oh, it also increases, improves benefits in status quo. If the goal can't deliver on all of these promises, it is boring. There's another kind of goal that's epic. I should add that to the treasure hunter thing. By epic, I mean there's something exceptional about the effort. It's something worth doing. Something that hasn't been tried before. Something that's a little daring. You know, it's like daring to find it. So it says dare to achieve. So this is my idea goal, and it doesn't seem to really be happening with these side businesses. You know, so maybe something in which the steps, most goals you have, you need to break them down into small steps before you can even engage with them. Otherwise they're too daunting. That doesn't really bother me so much. Something that works better for me is just pointing me at the problem and then I break it down. So what, you know, and it comes down to, I'm not even sure if I have goals anymore. These are the closest thing I can think of as goals that are good, but they're boring. I know that this part here and this part here will lead to a kind of mental stability and you know, maybe it's like, and these all seem very reasonable to me. They all seem, but they all also seem kind of boring. There maybe the missing element is an audacious goal. These 10-year goals, these had some audacity in them. I'm not a very audacious person to begin with, though. What would be amazing? I guess these are some other clouds. What's amazing? What's audacious? What's compelling? I mean, these are sort of other distracting side thoughts. Is that everything? Everything I can think of to model my current state of mind? I don't think I have goals. So July is traditionally the month that I give myself the option of taking it easy. So I'm going to define the two paths. Two. Paths. Oh, I screwed that up. Not used to doing this lettering anymore. So our two paths are what? There is the production line. Production model. And then there is the gathering model. This is where I want to focus. The gathering model is what I think might work better for me than the production model. I'm going to tell you why that seems that way. So I think my immediate turn is this, make the gathering model. The path. Exercise the production model of death. Production model is this. Production model is define a goal, you break down the steps to get to that goal, you do everything in tiny steps and you measure your results, you adapt along the way. It's everything you've known about productivity already. Being intentful, being mindful, being disciplined, being motivated. That's the production model as I'm defining it. You're aligning yourself to produce. The gathering model is different. The gathering model is the model that where you are wandering and experiencing and gathering the stuff that's good and collecting and collating and intensifying what you've seen and what you experience. And I think they both work. You should add that to gathering model. This is collect, curate, intensify, package, gathering model is define, do, execute, intent, measure. That's not maybe the best definition, but I think there's something with the gathering model that I need to really explore. If I'm already producing things, I guess there's two kinds of production. Hey, cat, you're in the way. Two kinds of production, or two kinds of products. I don't know. Now I'm a little confused. So, something like writing a book would be production model stuff. Something like learning is, in a way, gathering. So the question is, what is the nature of what I want to make? Question. What is it? I really... Okay. Want to make. And then which model? Which model works? Alright, I think I'm done with this for now. How long has this been? It's been about 90 minutes or so of contemplating what it is that I'm doing with regard to my Groundhog Day resolutions. I'm going to think about this offline a little bit and then write the blog post, and then I think I'm finally done thinking about this for a while. That's my process. Just trying different things out, seeing what happens. My cat is licking me. Whoa! It's moved. It flies. Alright. Okay, that's it for now. I'll talk to you later. Hope you're having a good Friday. Just waiting for a good place to stop the stream. As soon as I lift this cat, it's probably safe.